Hey, 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 you are now tuned in to Let's Be Real. This is your girl, Tara Kelly.
And I'm your host,
What it
Philosophy
do?
King Venom.
And what it do? I'm Phoenix Smooth.
Hey,
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 how y'all
hey.
feeling today?
Good,
Hello,
good.
family.
Good, good, good. So, y'all, today's topic is about how Spotify is changing the algorithm for artists now. And then, as soon as we get done with the Spotify topic, we're going to go ahead and hand the mic over to Phoenix Moo, and she's going to be talking about spirituality at the end of the show.
Hey,
So,
hey.
but first, we're going to go ahead and take you into a quick video to help you get a better understanding of what's going on.
For sure. Let's run it. Let's see what they
Let's
talking about.
go.
Impact. I mean, potentially not just hundreds of thousands, but millions of artists. Spotify is completely changing the way that they pay you royalties. And what they're saying and the way they're trying to sell this is that they'll be paying about $1 billion to artists. That sounds great, right? Well, it depends. And it depends on this definition of what they're calling a working artist. And so Spotify is saying they're only going to pay legitimate artists and right holders. So rights holders that, essentially fall within the new policies and these categories that we're going to go through. So actually, this is going to impact, I mean, potentially not just hundreds of thousands, but millions of artists. So the sales pitch is, hey, we're going to pay more money, but that might not be the case. So let's start with just talking about I kind of broke this into, there are probably three different policy changes, but we'll start with the most important ones. So policy number one is that Spotify is now making and implementing a minimum stream threshold before tracks can start generating royalties. Now, the way that I would kind of try to explain this is, do you guys remember with YouTube? At some point, they implemented you have to have a certain number of subscribers and you have to have like 4,000, watch hours in order to be able to monetize. So in the same kind of way, Spotify now is going to require that you have so many plays before you can even get paid your royalties. And while a specific number was not announced, what people are speculating is that it might be something as low as 200, but probably more like 1,000. So let's start right there. What do you think about that?
Listen, there's been nothing since, the headlines of Spotify changing its royalty policies. And, it's always legendary just how little artists get paid per stream on Spotify. But I'm kind of, as I was reading a lot of the stuff, I didn't really see so much of a problem. If anything, it's going to encourage these artists to work harder to get their streams up so they can be earning money. I mean, I don't know how much money you expect to earn on, if you're getting less than 200 streams, like what paycheck you're expecting to make on of that. And so I think it's a good incentive. I'm trying to take from the perspective of hustling these artists and get your streams up. Why do you have less than 200 streams if that's what the threshold is? Now,
Right.
we're just speculating on what that is. It could be something outrageous, but that's just from an artist. Like, what are you doing?
Okay, and for me, I'm more on the side of I want to make sure that I don't care how many plays that you're getting, you should get paid your royalties, because the way it works is that there's this misconception that you get paid per play. That's not how it
Mm-mm.
works, right? So do you want to explain that a little bit?
All their tracks, they go into this big pool of money, and then it's distributed based on your plays and just different deals and stuff you have. But it's not like you always see those figures where it's like 0.0008 or whatever it is for the what you're getting cost per stream, but that's not what it is. I mean, I think they're just trying to figure out what maybe it might kind of break down or feel like.
Right. So it's a big pool, and Spotify is essentially prorate. They're going to take their expenses off the top, but then they prorate and they pay wherever the listens are going to. They're gonna pay. So now they're essentially creating this threshold of, well, you're not even in the pool of what's
Right.
going to get paid if
Right.
you don't have a certain number of plays per track. So for someone who might have just a decent fan following, decent plays, but they don't meet whatever this threshold is, they're just not going to get paid. And so for me, I don't care if that's a few dollars or it's $100 over a period of time. Like, everyone should get paid if they got the listens. So that's the first kind of pretty big change, and also in that, as far as talking about money, Spotify changed. So the premium went from $9.99 to $10.99.
1099. Yeah.
And apparently didn't receive much pushback from this. And so Spotify will continue to likely increase that, but that money's not going to artists. That money's not being
Right.
calculated into this pool of how they are paid. So for me, I don't particularly like that.
They're talking about, with this, they're gonna get like 40 million that's gonna be kind of earned from just the money that's kind of that they're taking left over, and they wanted to start distributing that out. But just towards the more popular tracks. So the people, the ones that are working hard are gonna get kind of paid more.
Yeah, like Sebastian, he goes, I have a ton of streams. Spotify is always on the bottom of the quarterly payout info. I mean, of course. I mean, we already knew that artists probably are not getting paid what they should. But
Well-
think about it. Spotify is ingesting about 3 million
Right,
new
right.
songs per month. That means great for what they're selling this as. If they're like, well, the 0.5% of the bottom of the tier, those are the ones that aren't going to get paid. But now we can better distribute more money to everyone else, which is where they're like, well, there's $1 billion
how do you get-
essentially that we're going.
Right. So I mean, are you saying that if an artist earns 2 cents, you better, I mean, make sure they get their 2 cents, I guess. But how do you want to pay them that? How are you going to, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of artists that just don't, I don't know. It's just Spotify is just so overrun with just, now you're hearing about AI artists and just these fake
Mhm.
artists and things that just kind of pop up. And it's, we're going to get kind of into that in one of the other new changes to the royalty payments. But there's just a lot of artists that just don't do anything. That don't have any kind of anything going on. They've never had a play. And so I think when you're a huge
Well, and
company
they
like that,
arguably wouldn't get paid, right? I'm just advocating for whatever it is. I don't care if you got 20 streams, you should get
well, I'm
paid
saying
for that.
I'm saying on 200. I'm saying we were talking about the number being like something like if the threshold is 200 and whatever. I don't even like 200 is going to be. I don't even know if that's going to even add up to a penny. For them. So that's kind of what I'm saying. Like,
Well, okay, and the other thing we think about, and because there's sanctions now, we're not going to talk about that just yet. It's going to be in the next section. But for distributors, this will impact distributors and labels who are getting paid directly from the music platforms, because you guys don't know this. Distributors will earn your money because you forgot to add your bank account. Okay, so
Right.
they're collecting money on your
and
behalf.
that's the other
If-
thing. Artists don't even know to collect their money.
If you don't collect your money and it just sits there forever, at some point your distributor takes your money. So not only is the distributor taking the money, they're going to be impacted by this, but they also take a fee from the music platform. So if all of the, let's say, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of the lowest tier artists who aren't getting as many streams, they don't meet the threshold, that means that distributors aren't going to be able to take their share of the earnings from the artist. So distributors are going to be impacted too. Distributors are real businesses. Labels are real businesses.
Absolutely. And distributors are, as we'll get into these next couple ones, but we're going to see how your distributor is going to even be more affected by some of these things that some of these artists are trying to do with their streams. Everybody's been making shakeups to the way that they're doing their payout systems. But Spotify, being kind of like the leader, they are the best of all of the streaming services as far as their algorithms, as far as the way that they their playlisting, just everything that they do is really good. When I get stuff from Spotify, it's catered right to me. They hit it like I'm getting artists I have never heard of that are small artists and major artists. I think it gives a lot of great opportunity for artists and stuff like that.
The other big policy change here is having to do, I said sanctions because I'm a lawyer, fines. So record label distributors are now going to get fined by
Yes.
Spotify. And this is the ones who they're being real sneaky, because not only do independent artists do this
Yes.
with juicing their numbers,
Yes.
paying AI, paying bots to get the numbers up, but record labels do this all the time for the biggest artists, because they still have to, meet their quotas of numbers. Trust me. So anyway, now, Spotify is going to be implementing these fines, and it's to try to stop really, this ego boosting activity.
So if you guys are inflating your numbers, you better just keep an eye on stuff. They're going to be cracking down, and they're going to be finding the distributors at the level if they are finding you are doing fraudulent streams. If you are boosting, if you're using these stream farms or any other like AI tools, they're just going to remove your songs. They're just going to be gone. And then they're going to charge the distributor, not based on an artist hit, but per song. So if you release an album worth of, songs, and then you just did whatever, like your distributor is going to end up dropping you. And I'm just saying, like, this is where I think things are going to kind of become game changing, because when they start going off at the distributor, like, it's when you're just on the street and you're just like, oh, hey, I just want to go ahead and upload my song and to my distributor, and they'll just put it in there. And the distributor's like, sure, just give us your music, pay us your fee or whatever percentage we're going to do with you, and we'll put it in the system. But now if you're going to hit them and you're going to get fined because you're doing some shady stuff, they're just going to drop you, and you're going to find
And it's already happening. Look,
It's
guys,
already right.
as an entertainment law firm, this stuff is coming through my office all the time with artists who, in some cases, they accidentally are now locked into this whole category. And so their songs are getting removed because they're like suspicious activity. I had a client who was doing, we'll talk about this, but he was doing like sleepy time music, right?
Yeah.
And he got flagged because of how many hours of listening that he was getting. They're like, this looks so suspicious. But what he was doing was, you sleep all night, you listen to the track all night long. But nonetheless, we had to fight over the thing I just talked to you guys about, which was he got kicked off the platform. The distributor kicked him out of the distributor.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's definitely going to get serious. You know, Spotify, they've been accepting mostly all music that's been submitted to streaming services, and now they're just starting to be a little bit more selective about the content that they're going to be allowing on the site. They're definitely starting to demonetize tracks that generate less than 5 cents a month, and these tracks are basically generated in bulk. You know, artists that put out CDs back to back to back to back with 15, 20 songs on it, and then they'll come a week or two later and put another CD out, and they're just going to start demonetizing it, because these artists that are doing that, their tracks aren't getting that many plays. They're just sitting there.
Right.
And they're also basically, you know, trying to push it towards more professional musicians.
Weeding out the cheaters.
Yes, the cheaters.
Yeah.
You know,
Cheating. You got a cheat code.
you can't cheat. You can't be
They
cheating.
ain't the cheat code.
You got to get your numbers fair and square. You know, you got to go out. You got to get a genuine crowd. You got to go out there. You got to perform, even if you got to pay sometimes to perform. That's part of the industry. You got to pay
You gotta
sometimes.
do that. Some stuff you gotta do for free. Some stuff you gonna have to pay and invest into. You know what I mean? Your craft and what you're doing. And that's
Right.
just how it is. As much as you put in is what you gonna get from it. But if you scheming too,
Right.
it might look good on, you know, on the front end, you doing something like that. But you know, in hindsight, stuff like this happens where you're trying to be greedy, and
Right.
now, you know, they catching on to it and they ain't having it.
Not no more. You know,
They ain't having it.
there's at least 42% of tracks on the platform that aren't getting plays. And you gotta understand, Spotify is paying for this cost of data management for at least 42% of tracks that are just sitting there
Just sitting there collecting dust.
collecting dust. So by making this move, you know, it'll attract more major record companies.
Yeah.
The major
Yeah,
labels.
and I think people will take it more serious now that they know, like, oh, we can't keep, you know, doing this how we used to do it. Like, they're going to have to really start to, like, grind to,
Right.
you know, to get their music out there and whatever they want to get from it. Like, you're going to have to grind to do it, because clearly you trying to, you know, cheat the system. Eventually they catch on. You know, it might go on for a little bit and everybody, you know, gets on bandwagon. But now look at what's happening.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting that you brought it up, because, like, I don't know, I haven't since I lost my last manager, I haven't went back on the Spotify, and I see all these people posting these numbers. So about now, is that it basically safe to say that all of that is irrelevant from this point on?
Yeah. The numbers The streams are basically what they're going off of also. But now, they're going off of, it's almost like a pot. That's
Mhm.
basically what it is. It's like a pot. So say you have an artist that pays $12 a month for
Mhm.
Spotify. And that artist gets on the platform and they listen 60% of their listening time, they're listening to, let's say, Janet Jackson. And the other 40% of their time for that month, they might be listening to like Justin Bieber or Genuine. Well, Justin Bieber and let's say Rihanna, whoever I said, they're going to split that $12 now. It's not you're not getting profit for play. They're
Mhm.
splitting that $12 amongst the artists that who actually have plays and an actual following.
Mm. That makes
$12.
sense.
It's not a lot of
Makes sense.
money, but once
No,
you
Hey,
they
once you
add up.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. As
add
long
them up.
as
Pennies
soon as
add
you
up.
said it, it was
Add
like
that shit up.
millions. That's a lot of money. You
I
know.
want every coin. Like
Yeah,
Sonic.
run me my ducats. Run them in.
Oh man.
So, no more sitting up at night with bots just playing your song over and over and over again to get fake plays. There's
Mhm.
no more identity theft to generate fake plays under real users' names. Like people are stealing other people's names and basically using other people's names to play their music to get their plays.
Mm.
And there's no more uploading famous artist music as though it's your own. They got software now that detects it.
Wow.
So none of that is going on
People
anymore.
really out here they trying to they
Yeah.
work in the system. It's like welfare. They trying to work Spotify, ain't they?
Yeah.
She said like welfare.
It is. People be trying to work the system to get a little extra this or a little extra that or something. They working it.
It's dope though because it evens out the playing field too. Like
Yeah.
for the folks that can't really afford to market their like put money behind to get all these numbers, these bots or whatever to
Mhm.
constantly running their music on.
Right.
Now it makes it more fair.
Right. So
I think
how
so.
go ahead, Moo.
I said I think so too.
Yes, I think so. I think it's good, but at the same time, I don't think it's good. The reason why is because if you do have an artist now that is actually getting a large amount of views and plays, now they're put back into the bracket of the $12 a month from the users. So it's user centric now.
Mm.
It's not artist centric.
Yeah.
It's,
I get
it's,
it. Yeah.
it's user centric.
Mhm.
But just the people that are paying the $12 a month for Spotify. So
Well, it's good to know where my $12 is going.
right.
It's a balance. You got to take
Because
the
I'm
good.
one of those people, like I love my music and I'm on Spotify and all that all the time. So, and I even listen to like how she was talking about like the sleepy time music. That's me.
Mhm.
I'll put on some meditation, some something music in a minute and
Me
be
too.
listening to it for hours and hours. So,
Yeah.
something got to be fair for everybody,
Mm.
and at the end of the day, people can't expect to like keep getting away with stuff or getting out on like they're going to see, and it has to be fair for everybody. Like it got to be some type of way. So I feel like they're on the right track,
Yeah, they're going in the right direction.
to start to like fix the problem a little bit.
Right.
And I mean that's a good thing because that kind of shows that the company does care if they're willing to like make these changes to have everybody try to get a piece of equality instead of just being like, screw it, I'm gonna just, let the scammers keep doing what they doing and just, leave people blinded pretty much.
They rectifying the situation the best that they can.
Right.
We gotta
Yeah.
give them the credit.
Right. But you also have to take in the fact that, they want this to happen, but they don't want it to happen. And the reason why they don't want it to happen is because it's if you think about it, it's going to require an expensive like re-engineering of the music service royalty process.
Yeah.
And these services, they normally rely on, the artists, especially the artists, they rely on getting into those automatically those generated playlists. The playlist
Mhm.
about,
Right.
Yep.
they're relying on that. Some artists rely on that.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Right.
if we're leaving that and going into that $12 bracket per user, what's going to happen to that? Are we still going to get put into those playlists and get counted for that, or is that just null and void?
Mhm. Good
Because
question.
that was raising people's numbers, getting into those automated playlists.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if
Mhm.
they do fix it, it's going to prevent the fraudulent streams, in which now, like, instead of it being like people uploading the rain sounds or the water sounds, 30 seconds is not going to cut it now. You can't
Mhm.
upload a 30-second video and loop it
Right.
And it
no
go
more.
viral.
You're going to get sued.
They going platinum, okay? They got
Yo,
that 30
platinum with a
seconds.
15
They said
second
we're gonna
video.
put the swoopy whoop on it and it's gonna run for 16 hours. They trying it.
Man, people's attention span is short as it is. Like, especially with all
Yeah.
this TikTok, all this other stuff, Snapchat.
Right. So you know what? Let's we're gonna look in the audience. Angel De Herrera, how you doing? Dante Floss King, thank you for joining on the show. Bree Cliff, thank you for tuning in, and Candy Rose,
Hey, Bookie.
thank y'all so much for tuning into the show.
For sure, no doubt, no doubt. Thanks for all the support.
So yeah, for you artists out there, it's time for y'all to get up, get out the house, get on Facebook, get on TikTok, get on Twitter. Whatever you got to do, you got to get up and you got to start promoting your music the right way. And sitting at home playing your music at night while you're sleeping it's no longer.
Mm-mm.
Right.
See, that's why I'm glad I just listen to music. Cause
A little complicated.
Right.
no, I mean, I'll sing a little bit, but I ain't trying to make no career out of it. Like, no, I'll sing in the shower and I'll leave the rest of this stuff to the professionals because I don't have it to do. It's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot.
So we're gonna switch the subject real quick. We're gonna go ahead and give my beautiful friend Phoenix Smooth, we're gonna give her the mic real quick, and she's gonna talk to y'all a little bit about spirituality.
Hey y'all, so this is my baby. So there's like this big, I hate to call it a trend, right? Because a lot of people though are starting to like jump on it. So we're noticing that people are doing this like spiritual thing. I hate to say it in air quotes, but that's to the people that ain't taking it serious. So first thing that I feel like people will say as soon as you say, oh, I'm spiritual, or, I started my journey, they're automatically, you don't believe in Jesus, or you don't believe in God, or because that was me from my own family. And yes, I still believe in God. I still, if I choose to, will go to church and everything. It's not as bad as people think it is. So in the gist of it, right? Spirituality is basically a way of using a different way of healing, using different things that we have around us, hence like hoodoo practices, looking at things from a different perspective to gain more clarity. There's no set, like, Christianity has the Bible, and, there's the Quran, and there's like books, right, to religion. With spirituality, it's not really a book. It's so open. You can do so many things to help heal yourself. It's not bad like people think it is. I think it has a bad rap, and they think if it doesn't have anything to do with like strict like Jesus, God, whatever, then it's like bad and it's negative and it's evil, and people are scared of it. They're scared. And I think a big part of them being scared is they don't know. They don't know what spirituality is. They don't know that it's all these different things that they can pull from, the universe to help themselves. So that's the gist of like what spirituality is. Now, there are, I'll say there's like not necessarily rules, but like there's guidelines to things. And there's different levels of spirituality. Some people believe in crystals to help, change their mood, or, to help heal themselves from traumas, abuse, different types of things. Some people, they believe in sage and all this other stuff. There's some people that don't believe in none of it, and they just might like to do yoga. They might like to meditate. There's people higher up that, do practice like hoodoo, voodoo, which is like more in depth. But, there's like levels to it, but it's not a race. It's not a competition. There's never going to be a time where you're going to look at one person, and even though y'all might be going through the same thing, y'all journeys are different. Everybody's journey, everybody's healing looks different. So you can't base like one person, where they're at off of, something else. Well, I've been through that, so I should be able to. Ain't how it. Your journey is your own.
Right.
With spirituality, like it's your own. You are going to have to take whatever it is that you need from wherever, and incorporate that every single day into your life to help make it better.
Right.
So that's the gist of what spirituality is.
So do you well, in my take on spirituality, it's also, about, seeking a meaningful connection with something that's bigger than yourself,
Absolutely.
which it can result in positive emotions, such as peace, contentment, gratitude, acceptance, and it to me, it also involves emotional health.
Oh, absolutely.
Because emotional health, is about, cultivating a positive state of mind.
Right.
And it'll broaden your outlook, to help you, recognize or even help you incorporate a connection to something that is also larger than yourself.
Correct. Absolutely. And for me, I like when I stepped into my journey, like this was like 2019 ish. And I got into it. Like one of my cousins came to me. Like I was going through a lot of stuff, but she came to me and she's like, cousin, I want you to read this book. And it was about chakras. And I had never really paid too much attention, to what chakras was and about our energy and all this other stuff. So I'm going through all this life stuff, and then she tells me about this book. So I'm starting to read and I'm looking up, what chakras are and,
Right.
how we align them and when they out of whack, how our life is. And I'm like, oh, shoot. I said, I must need to get me some of this chakra, alignment they got going on, because I started to see how a mess. I'm like, just from reading about chakras, I was like, this makes a lot of sense. This explains why I feel how I feel, in my head, and why my communication's messed up, why my heart is like this, why I'm not motivated. It was like, because I'm not in alignment with nothing. And from then on, it was like, okay, this is something that I feel like I can do. And it's, to me, like spirituality, like once you start, when it's real, once you start, you can't like pick it up and put it down. It don't work like that. When it's meant for you, it's coming.
It's like
And
with your mind, body,
yeah,
and your spirit.
I believe that in the moment that brought me to spirituality, like my ancestors, my angels, they knew, like, that's the moment right there. That moment. It could have been any other moment for, 20, 30 something years. But in that moment, that couple years ago, they said, oh, here you go. This is what you need to catapult you into something else.
Right.
And from then on, it's been a journey ever since. And it's not easy. People think that, oh, they're spiritual. They talk about, love and light. And it is that. It's exactly that. But it's more than that. Okay. Just like when you think about just the basics, right, of yin and yang. And everything good, you got a little bit of bad and vice versa. So it's the same type of thing with a spiritual journey. It's not always going to be love and light all the time.
Mhm.
It's not. You have to
You're
listen.
gonna have those hard times.
You got to do work. I
Right.
mean, work that you ain't never had to do. Like the shadow work part of spirituality is kind of your like make and break kind of moments, because once you really start to accept what those negative parts about you, those traumatic parts, those ugly parts, once you really start to accept that and forgive yourself for it and start to like heal from it, like where are you gonna go?
It takes a lot too. That
Your shadow is with you all the time, right?
Mhm.
No matter where we go, if there's a light somewhere, we're gonna have a shadow. So we can't escape it. It's with us forever. We have to learn how to tame it. We have to learn how to use our shadows for, like, use it when we need it, right?
Right.
So even though we have like all of this stuff going on, these traumatic experiences and childhood traumas and all this stuff, right? Even though we want to heal that shadow part of us, some of that we still have to keep because it's our protection. Your shadow is your protection. Like, yes, we have it from the divine and from God and, or angels and whatnot. But for us, our shadow is our own protection. And it's important that we find a happy balance, because we don't want people to keep walking over us, talking to us crazy, just coming in our energy and trying to like run them up and just do whatever, they want to do. So our shadow helps kind of set those boundaries and keep them there.
Right.
and be able to tell people like, this is how far you could go, and if you come past this, then this is what you get.
Right.
So it's all about finding that happy medium, and it ain't always happy.
Yeah.
It ain't. Healing hurts.
Right. And
And
then I was doing some research myself, Moo, and there's 7 chakras altogether. There's 7 chakras.
7 main ones. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot more,
But
but
them, oh
there's
man,
7 main ones.
them 7
Uh,
main ones is the ones that I mean, not saying I don't want to learn about the other ones. I'm gonna get there. But yes, them 7 them 7 main ones is like, you can kind of see it like,
they're the major ones.
yeah, like I got so much chakraness up here. So I mean,
Let's
It-
see some. What you got over there?
well, okay, so this right here, where did I get this from? I don't know, Amazon or like Five Below. It's like just a little tapestry
Okay.
with the chakras on it. So basically you have your crown chakra, which is like
The root
top of
chakra.
your head, right? Your crown chakra. So that's that's your connection to the divine. So whatever you consider divine, you could say it's Jesus, God, the broomstick, whatever. What you believe is what you believe, right? This is your connection to the divine. So like your higher self. Then we have our third eye chakra, which is like right here. Most people know about that. When you say third eye, they know it's right there. That is basically our intuition. That's, we can see things for what it is. It's like, cut the BS. I see what it really is, kind of thing. Our throat chakra, which is of course right here in our throat, that's our communication center. So being able to not only like speak in a more healthy way, but to also understand, because that's a big part of communication. People don't get it. They think, it's just about talking. No, communication, you got to listen. You have to interpret, you have to comprehend. Sometimes you got to read in between somebody else's lines. It's a lot. So this throat chakra is about communication. Then we have our heart chakra, which is green, and that is our love center. That's where like our emotions come from. We're basically where we get our love from. It's our heart chakra, and this is love for everybody. So not just like relationships, but for kids, family, friends, whatever. Next we have our solar plexus. It's yellow, so that sits like your gut, kind of top of your stomach. That's your intuition too. Those gut feelings. That's where your joy and your excitement and your motivation comes from. So that's our solar plexus. Next is our sacral. This one's orange. So that's kind of it's kind of your reproductive area, right? They call it sacral because it does sit in your like near your butt, like your sacral, down the bottom. So that area is basically our sexual or sensual center. Like I said, our reproductive organs is down there. So it has a lot to do with like our sexual relationships, even with ourselves, with other people, how sensual we are. This also can have somewhat to do with like love also. And then the last one we have, which is way like down in the bottom, is our root chakra. And that is where you're going to find where you're grounded at. When you're rooted, you're grounded. That means you're standing firm in whatever. You feel planted, you feel safe. This is where like if you have like fears, anxiety, stuff like that, that can mess up your root chakra because you won't trust people. So all of these, I mean, they can all be in alignment. Some can be in alignment, some can be off. Sorry, my doorbell was ringing. So it kind of depends, but some basic little 101s about chakras. The colors, right? If you want to start working on your chakras, one of the easiest ways to start working on it is to wear the color.
Right.
That's it. Wear the color. Not that's it, but that's one of the easiest ways that you can start to like work on your chakras if it's not in alignment, is to just wear the color. Eat fruits, veggies, any foods that are associated with that color. So you can eat green apples, white grapes because they are green, broccoli, green things for our heart chakras, right? Red things for our root chakra. So it just depends. You pick a color, right? And you wear things, you eat things that are kind of associated with that. So those are two of the easiest ways to
Nice.
help kickstart like your alignment. And I don't mean like one day.
Now you got to do
So,
it. You got to do it more than one day.
So do that. Like I would say, and I've done this for me, I would say like give it like a week of each. Like if you're going to work on them, okay, so this first week I'm gonna do this crown chakra and I'm gonna focus on eating like more, purple foods and wearing more purple for that week. Okay, next week I'm gonna work on this one. So I'm gonna wear this color, and then you can incorporate that with your meditation and whatever else practices. But two of the most basic for like the beginners is to just incorporate those colors of the chakra in anything that you possibly could do. Even writing. Like if you're journaling, use those colors. It'll be a little hard to use yellow because you can't always see it.
Mhm.
But you can, in place of it, you can use black. You can still use black as long as your intentions are there.
Okay.
You can swap it out.
All right. So I'm gonna go a little deeper into the seven chakras
Yes.
real quick. So you have the crown chakra,
Yes.
which is normally a white color, and that
White
chakra,
or purple.
white or purple,
Yep.
and that's the highest chakra, and located at the crown of the head.
Mm-hmm.
This is the center of spirituality, dynamic thought, energy, wisdom, cosmetic consciousness, and you undergo destructive feelings and experiences and constant frustration and kind of melancholy if that chakra gets blocked or
Yes.
if it's unbalanced. But the function of that chakra is enlightenment,
Yes.
universal or pure awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go to, we have the next one, which is the third
third eye.
the third eye
Yep.
chakra, and it's basically your focal point, and it is basically used to develop more concentration and awareness. It basically gets you closer to togetherness with divine, if it's to say.
Yeah, it's like the crown and the third eye kind of are like twinsies,
Right.
if you want to think about it like that, because they kind of mirror each other. And even all seven, like you'll notice that some of them kind of overlap with like some of the characteristics that they have. So like I feel like our crown and our third eye are like, they're two separate, but they're kind of like one. At least that's how I take it. Everybody ain't got to look at it like that. But when I think about it, I'm like, those two kind of like, they go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah. So the third eye, it it attributes to intelligence, insight, self-knowledge, intuition, if imbalanced. It
Mhm.
makes you feel non-assertive, afraid of success. I don't know if anybody's been to that point, but that's basically where it's coming from. It's coming from that third eye chakra,
Mhm.
success, and it can also cause physical problems
Oh yeah.
like headaches, eye strain,
Mhm.
seizures, and spinal dysfunction.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, it
Oh,
actually really,
it's real. Like a lot of
yeah,
people don't understand. Like a lot of these ailments that they have are not necessarily like something that's medically wrong with them. It's you not being your body's not in balance like it should be, so it's presenting with these physical,
right,
physical symptoms. Sometimes ain't nothing medically wrong with you, but you have these symptoms because your energy is off whack.
right, right. So then we gonna move on. We gonna move to the next one, and the next is the throat chakra, and the
Mhm.
previous one is the third eye chakra is purple or indigo.
Yeah, it's like weird.
Yeah.
Like some of the colors are weird because so like on my little thing up here, this one's like a light purple pinkish for the crown, and then the third eye is actually purple. That's not really how it's supposed to be. My little, I don't know if y'all can really see it, but this I got from like one of the little stores here. This one is more of like what I follow. So the crown is actually purple. Then the third eye is like a darker blue, and then the throat is usually like a lighter blue.
Okay.
But depending on what you look at or what you're researching, those colors at the top might differ just a little bit. So I just want everybody to know that. Don't think like if you see something that represents a crown chakra and it's white, that's fine.
Right.
Absolutely fine. If you can interchange the blues with like the third eye and the throat because they're still both blue. Um, it's but as long as you kind of follow that like main color scheme, it'll help you remember. But for some reason, like looking at certain stuff, those colors be like they're little not off, but they're switched around.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's your throat chakra. Um, that maintains your ability to communicate your power.
Mm-hmm.
The blocking of your throat chakra, you'll experience uh, quietness, an inability to express your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's restored, it allows you to express yourself more clearly, and it enables positive self-expression and constructive communication and
Mm-hmm.
creativity, like a sense
Yes.
of satisfaction, basically.
one one other little tidbit about like when your chakras are like in alignment, sometimes they can be overactive, right?
Yes.
So they can be underactive where you like they're out of whack. Then you have like okay where you're in a nice balance, and then you can be overactive, right?
Yes.
So this can cause you to like you start to go overboard with
Right.
whatever it is, whatever energy it is, you're just doing too much. So like with
Mhm.
with our throat chakra, when it's overactive, sometimes you can't shut up. And you don't know why, but you can't. It's like it's too open. So
Yeah.
sometimes we have to pay attention to not only if our chakras are out of alignment, like, but we also have to make sure that they're not like too far to where we're doing too much, and now that's still hurting us because like we don't know how to be quiet in a situation where we should be quiet, or like we're, I don't know, giving too much affection to something and we shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So either way, you know, you have to just be cautious.
Yes. So I think we got about 7 more minutes left in the show. So I'm gonna get through these last three. You got the heart chakra, and this chakra is really more than anything is associated with spirituality. It's the seat of balance. If it's unbalanced, an individual, you'll feel emotional issues like anger, lack of trust, anxiety, jealousy, moodiness, and fear.
Yeah.
But when balanced, a person begins to feel more compassionate, caring, optimistic, friendly, and
They
motivated.
love, like they exude love. It's like it'll be easier for you to like create relationships with other people. Not even, you know, like, but just like friendships and whatever. It's easier once your heart chakra's open, to create better relationships too.
Yeah, and that color is
Green.
or pink,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, green. Yeah, it can be usually on a chakra chart. You're going to see green mostly, but pink also.
Pink also. Okay.
Yes.
So then moving up, we have the solar plexus chakra.
Mm-hmm.
And this allows an individual to feel confident, in control of their life, have a sense of belonging, also
Joy.
Their self-esteem.
Yep.
When the solar plexus is blocked, though, you will feel extremely a large amount of self-doubt and shame.
Very like, and I've went through this actually with my solar plexus being out of whack. Like I was not motivated. I didn't find joy in stuff that I usually would have. So when that's out of whack too, you're not going to be like, you're not going to feel confident.
Yes.
And like want to do things. Like there'll be a lack.
Yes. So as soon as you balance out that chakra, that solar plexus chakra, you'll feel free to express your true self, basically. You'll be more energetic, more confident, more productive, and more focused. So we have the sacral chakra.
Yes.
And this helps to understand the way we relate to ourselves and other people's emotions. It, like you said beforehand, it controls the sexual energy and their creativity.
So you can be very promiscuous.
Yeah.
Very even like if you're either way, if you're single or not, like you can just be very promiscuous, be cheating on your mate if you're with somebody, or just like giving yourself away because your sexual energy is off. You may not be able to like accept or believe that somebody wants you. Like you won't feel like you're enough to be like loved or looked at in a certain way. Physically, you might feel like you don't look as nice. This can cause like a lot of like with your heart too, being out of whack. It can be very emotional.
Yeah, emotionally.
You can be very moody.
Yeah, angry, discontented.
A lot of, and I'll say this too for women, because this is our reproductive organ, right? We have to really pay attention to that because that's where our children have to sleep before they come out. So that sacral, please, please, please. If you know it's out of whack or you don't know, find out and let some of that, that healing and getting over trauma start from your sacral,
Right.
especially when it comes to your children.
Yes. So when that chakra is balanced, you feel more positive and more happy and more vibrant, more compassionate, more intuitive and satisfied.
Like that girl I see on the back behind you in that red dress.
Oh yeah, she's
I see her. Hey, me.
Oh, I'm there. It took a
Look,
long
she got
time.
her sacral energy together.
Yeah, I had to. You have to. You got to get yourself together, y'all. You got to get yourself together. It's so important to be content and happy within yourself, regardless of what's going around you and your surroundings. You still have to be able to just wake up and look in the mirror and just tell yourself, yeah, I'm beautiful, I'm confident, I'm smart, believe in myself, I'm going to be successful. It's just affirmations.
Oh, yes.
Affirmations. And the last one we have is that root chakra. So with this root chakra,
Oh, honey. That one.
Out of balance, an individual, like you will feel ungrounded, unstable, insecure, fearful, and just
terrible.
Just a lack of ambition and purpose.
I hate to say like terrible, but when your root is off, it's kind of like that's your basis, right? When you think about a tree or plant, right? When them roots ain't stable, what happens? That plant got to go through. That plant is sick until it die. Like you got to keep them roots together, and for us, that's, going outside, putting our feet in the grass, on the ground, going outside, touch a damn tree. People, be a tree hugger. There's nothing wrong with it. Be a tree hugger. Because I'm telling you, your life will be, it makes a difference, and you don't understand, when you hear somebody say, you think they crazy or something, but literally when your root is out of whack, you're going to feel it. Everything in your life is just going to feel like it's coming down on you. This ain't working right. I don't trust people. You're afraid. You don't step into your purpose because you too much, like you paranoid. It's a lot.
Yeah. So, and when that chakra is balanced, though, negative emotions are replaced with positive emotions. You feel stable, you feel confident, you feel balanced, you feel energetic, you feel independent and strong.
You will trust people.
Yeah. And
you'll be able to trust people. I won't say you will, but you'll be able to without that fear, like, oh, they're gonna, do this or that. It's like you'll be confident enough to know that, like, the decisions that you're making and what you're doing, boom, I got this.
Right.
So, they all go, hand in hand with each other. It's very important that you start from somewhere, and if it is just a book on chakras, then you just read it and, you start to pick up from there, do that. If it takes to watch videos, there's videos on YouTube, that can help you learn about what they are, and how to apply them to your life. Because it's a big part of it that people don't know. And you don't necessarily have to even be like a spiritual person necessarily to learn about chakras and just say, okay, this is something that I want to be able to incorporate.
Right.
You ain't got to be spiritual. You just got to be like, okay, I'm tired of feeling like, whatever. So this is something I'm going to do to try to, help me feel better. So, no shame in it. Get your chakra on. Okay. Get your reading.
And
it's fundamental.
Get you some positive affirmations. Look up those positive affirmations. Tell yourself positive affirmations. I am love. I am purpose. I am made with divine intentions. I am worthy of what I desire, I can, I will. And that's the end of the story.
And that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. I can, I will, I am.
I
You know,
overcome fears by following
all of
my
that.
feed my spirit. I train my body. I focus my mind. It's my time. I am
Ashe, ashe.
I am the hero of my own life. I will not compare myself to strangers on the internet.
Period.
Period.
Period. Never talk, but hold on, hair flip. I had to do a hair flip real quick.
Waiting to be chosen. Choose. And do
Yes.
not wait to be chosen. I am worthy. I am loved. I am enough. I am my own light. I tell myself
Yes.
that I am my own light. And
Ashe and amen.
they will
I
start
gotta give us some.
gravitating towards you. You know, you have the power to create change.
Yes.
Everybody has the power to create change.
Mhm.
I believe
Even if
in
it's a little bit.
coming. You know, believe good things are coming. Don't say, oh my God, the bills ain't paid. This is going on.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. I'm listen, I've been going through so much stuff. And as soon as I say, oh, I ain't got, my next thought is it's coming. And you're allowed to have, whatever thoughts, but follow that up with something positive. Like, dang, I ain't got no money for this bill. Oh, but it's coming. It's on the way.
Right.
I know it's coming, and you gotta leave it alone.
Right.
Speak it, believe it, let it go, and continue to, move on and keep doing the best that you can. And that's when your blessings are going to come.
Most
You believe it, you speak it, and you let it go. So, that is y'all, quick run through.
That's our spiritual session for Let's Be Real, for real, because we are
Yes,
being
yes. Oh, and there's more where this came from. This is just a little tip of the iceberg. We got a lot more to talk about,
Yeah.
and we here for it. So please bring y'all questions, bring your people. Let's talk about it. Let's be real about it. Let's heal about it. How about that? Let's be real and let's heal.
We're all healing today. A lot
Yes.
of people in the world, they're all going through something right now. Especially a lot of our artists, it's very hard for them out there right now. It's very hard to get a following. If your music is great, it's great. At the same time, everybody has their own crowd that likes them. And just because the entire crowd does not like you, that does not mean that there is not a crowd out there for you. So you got to go outside of wherever you're at. If you're not achieving that crowd where you're at, go outside of that state. Go outside of that state. Go outside of the people that you're normally performing in front of, and go perform in front of strangers. Don't keep performing in front of your friends. Your friends are always going to be your friends, but the people that you want are the people that are outside of that circle of where you're already
step
performing.
Outside of your comfort zone.
You got to step
somebody gonna like you. They probably just ain't heard about you yet because you keep staying in the living room for your friends.
Hey,
They gonna learn today.
They gonna learn today.
Hold up! Don't be just leaving us like that and then just swoop back in like, "What's up?" We
was having a blast.
I mean, we was having fun, but like we seen you just like skirt out real quick. Don't think we ain't noticed.
That was a really good show. Very informative. I was backstage. I was checking it out. I had to go handle a couple things real quick, but y'all did a really good
businessman.
Y'all did a really, really good job. You know what I mean? For sure, kudos, no doubt. For sure.
I hear that clapping.
Hey, yeah, we got the hand claps in.
We about to have to get us a little drum thing too for when we crack little jokes. Like, boom.
So y'all make sure y'all tune in. If we can, we will air next week. If we can, if not, it's gonna be every 2 weeks still. But make sure y'all please tune in on Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m.
10:30 p.m. here.
Yeah, 10:30 p.m.
Yeah, I'm over in Pennsylvania, y'all. So over on this way. And it's weird because like we got daylight savings on this side. So like our clocks went back like
Yeah.
an hour.
Yeah.
So it used to be like that 3-hour time difference with us,
Yeah.
and now it's down to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Arizona don't. It just stays the same all year
Ours
round.
don't. We
Yeah.
it goes back in the fall, and in spring we set the clocks ahead. So
You lose out.
Mm,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
yeah. And make
But
sure
either
y'all
way, as of right now, it's 10:30 on
Yeah.
this side.
tune in Mondays at 8:30 p.m. as well for our interviews with MJ, MG, and Philosophy King Denim.
Already.
Big brother.
Let's be real on Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Real
And then
Tuesday.
Friday we gets down.
Friday,
let's
we
get
got interviews too, 8:30 p.m. Me and Philosophy will be
saying.
doing artist interviews. Make sure y'all clock into that as well.
Yeah, get your music played and whatnot. We do that on Fridays after the interview. So make sure you submit your music. And yo, man, the show, Epic TV Media.
And we out.
Yeah.